Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe here with ArmA 2, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make just a really quick, easy firefight within the mission editor. Disclaimer, I don't know half of what there is to know about this editor. I just know how to place a couple of units, select different unit types, maybe make a waypoint and a trigger, and that's pretty much it. This is just for those of you who just want to have a little bit of fun with it. You can, of course, get way more advanced. There's a whole bunch of good YouTube tutorials out there from people who actually know what they're doing. But this is just here because I noticed that some people were interested in messing around with this after making my last strafing run video. So anyway, getting started, you choose editor in the menu under single player or multi, whatever. And you have some available continents to choose from. Utas, Chernarus, obviously this is where DayZ is. For those of you who maybe just want to explore the map, you can load up Chernarus, hit continue, and just, you know, kind of look around and explore if you want. Proving Grounds, Shapur, so different choices there. So let's just do Utas because it's actually a smaller island. And here we are, we have our map. So first and foremost, scroll wheel on your mouse is going to let you look, zoom in and out. Simple as that. The next map-related feature would be laying down textures. This actually lets you see the topography of the world, so you can see more so the detail of where actual trees might be instead of just seeing kind of outlines. Because in some cases, like you'll notice here, there's actually more trees here than you think there are based on this. And also in some cases, roadways might not line up the way you think they do. As you can see here, this road might not be as big as you think it is, or it might just not line up correctly. So there is that. So using the texture map does come in handy sometimes. But first and foremost, let's figure out where you would want to start your firefight and go from there. So let's say we just want to put some guys down on this roadway here. So first thing you've got two things actually. You got units with F1 and groups with F2. We want to just put down one unit to test it. So I'm going to double click right there. You're going to get this dialog box with what do you want to do? What do you want to place down? We've got side that you can choose. Blue 4, basically good guys. Op 4, bad guys. Independent, just civilian or ambient life. I guess you can choose animals and stuff, things like that. So we want to do blue 4. We want to do our player. So what we want to do is, most importantly, we want to make sure that this is controlled by a player. This is going to be you. So if you have this, you can't spawn in that, and you can't even really do anything. So you want to have player. You can choose whether it's, you know, with a vehicle or whatnot, but we're just going to do a simple player. He's going to be part of, let's just do the British Armed Forces, just because I kind of like their player models. They're a bit newer. So we'll go with that. And really, that's pretty much all you need to do. The next fun thing to mess with is what class are you going to be? Engineer, Grenadier, Marksman, a Medic, Officer, Rifleman. Let's just do Rifleman with a backpack. And let's hit OK. There we have a Rifleman with a backpack. So if we wanted to see, oh, did it work properly? Just hit preview. Loads it up real quick. Here we are in game. Rifleman with a backpack. Simple as that. So it's kind of neat because you can really just explore the world. There's nothing here. There's no life. I don't think there's any animals. There's no humans. There's nothing. So you can just mess around with the game, play around. You're free to do what you want. And so it's kind of nice to be able to just play around with the game, learn the world, explore, have fun, get used to the controls, you know. Because in some games that don't really have a tutorial phase or you know, a single player that you're just kind of allowed to free roam. Like if you think about Battlefield 3, you have single player and then multiplayer, but there's nowhere that you can just run off to the side and safely mess with your controls without possibly getting shot at or having to mess around with the single player. So it's nice to have this option, but you can also use the showcase included by Bohemia. But I think this is fun too. So let's get out of here, abort, and go back to the editor. So here we have our one unit. Let's say we want to give him a fire team. So we could click, double click again. Maybe let's give him a medic. Let's give him another guy. Let's click, double click again. Let's give him a grenadier. How about one more? Let's do a, let's see. How about just a machine gunner? Okay. So now we seem to have a fire team. They're all automatically linked to you, so that should mean that since I'm the main team leader and player, then they will be under my control. So if I hit preview now, you see I've got 2, 3, and 4 under my command. There you go. So simple as that. Now we have a fire team. I've told them to stop, regroup. And you can continue as per usual. So that's that. Simple as that. Now, there's another option though. Let's say that we don't want any of this. Let's clear that out. Yes. Let's say we want to do groups, F2. We can double click. This is going to be a little different. So let's do blue 4 again. British Armed Forces. You can choose the camouflage type. The last camo you saw was MTP, which is kind of basically similar to multicam, made by actually the same company. Let's choose a different camo. Let's go Infantry Woodland. Let's say we want a small fire team or a section. Section for Americans is basically considered like a platoon. I believe the British just call it a section. Let's do a whole section. Continue. See, it warns you that no player is selected, so we can't do anything with this. We need to tell the section leader to be, again, player. So we want that. Okay. Preview. Ta-da, whole section. And you'll also notice that we're in Woodland Camouflage. Or their version of what we consider Woodland. So there's that. You can control them as usual. So go back out. And now with these ones, you'll see that they're non-playable. If we were making maybe a multiplayer scenario, we want to make everything playable. I think that that's how it would work. So I don't know if we could just... I'm trying to think if we could click all and make them playable. I don't know how that works. So I don't know if you have to go through all of them. I don't know if there's a way to make just everything playable, because if you think about it, if you're making an entire map, that would be kind of a pain to go through each one. So I'm really not sure how that works. We'll have to figure it out, but we're going to clear that for now. Now let's say I just want a small fire team. Let's just go back to MTP, blue 4. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Clear that. And I need to figure out the easier way to delete things too. So infantry, MTP, and then I just want a fire team. Okay, so notice now we have just a small fire team. Team leader, go back to team leader, make him a player. Okay, so we've got our player there. Good to go. Now let's say we want a bad guy. Double click again, choose unit. Let's say we just want one bad guy. We want to make an OP4. You can choose his faction, same way. We can make him an insurgent. We can choose what he is. Let's say he has an AK-74. And just put him down there. Hit preview. And as you can see, there he goes. My team lit him up right away, and that's that. Now we're on our fire team. Back in MTP uniform. And that's that. And he's down. He's obviously an insurgent skin with his AK-74. So again, real simple way to just make a firefight. Like let's say you just want to spawn some guys in the houses over there, start your fire team, approach the housing, and just engage in a battle. It's a good way to practice the gameplay. So let's go back out. However, you'll notice that when we killed him, nothing happened. So let's make a trigger. Trigger, it sets something off. So what we want to do is place a trigger down here, double click. This tells you how large the trigger is. So it's within, let's just make it really large. I'm going to make it 500, whatever. Let's see, as far as I know about this. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this, but as far as I remember, we want to do activation. Who activates it? The OP4, the bad guys are going to activate it. What is the condition? What makes them activate it? Well, if they're not present, if they're dead. So let's say we want to kill the bad guy and the mission ends. So we want to select OP4 sets it off. We don't want them around anymore, not present. This is the time it takes for it to click off. So let's just do 5, 6, and 7, which means like after I kill them, how long before I get a pop-up screen, I think. And what do we want to happen? We want the mission to end. So I'm going to hit OK. Preview. He's down. And there it goes. So it ends. Now there's remember, you can set the min-max time for how long that little debrief screen pops up. I'm sure that you could, of course, place more information here, like, oh, mission complete, yada, yada, yada. But there's that. So if you really want your thing to end, you have to set down a trigger, and that's the most simple way to do it. And that's how I've learned how to do it. There's so much more that you can learn with it, though. It can get so much more advanced. You can trigger different waypoints and whatnot, and things like of that nature. But let's clear that, and let's look at something else. Let's do a group. Let's add another group. Same thing, fire team. Okay. I'm going to make this my player. But I'm also going to pop down another unit right in front of me, and I'm going to tell them to move. So I'm going to make a waypoint. I'm going to tell them to maybe move down the road or something. Let's just tell them, double click here. So I'm going to click on waypoint, and oops, or not. Waypoints. Why is this not working? Triggers, waypoints. Let's try to move these guys around. And I'll get into... Okay, there we go. For some reason. I guess maybe because it was stuck. So, let's go back to waypoints. Let's look at actually moving these characters around. So, when you have them here, if I click on... Typically I want to be clicked on units, but as you can see here, on units I can move these guys around and place them in different locations. So let's just kind of put them off into the woods somewhere. Now if I hold down, if I go down to Shift, this is going to allow me to rotate these things around. So if I don't have Shift, it's just movement, Shift, rotates. Okay, so that should cover that. Now if you just have one selected, it's just going to rotate the one unit. And this is good because sometimes you place down a bunch of units and maybe they're clipping into something like an object or a building, and that might screw something up, or they might end up on the roof and fall off and break their legs. So you want to do that. But let's go back to waypoint like I originally wanted to. Double click. You get another dialog box. What is it going to do? Well, let's say we just want them to move. What kind of combat mode are they in? Formation are they going to be in? Let's just say they're going to switch into a line formation. Let's just say they're going to be limited speed, behavior, they're going to be aware of their situation, and go for that. So let's just try that. Preview it. And there's that team. We told them to move down that waypoint, and that's exactly what they're going to do. You can get really advanced with the waypoints. I have no idea how to do much more than what I just showed you. You can trigger different waypoints. You can set up ambushes. You can basically have a waypoint set so that once you cross a certain trigger point, that an Op4 team will then start moving along a predetermined waypoint system. So it can get very, very complex, but I just don't know how to do all that type of stuff. It gets a little funky. For example, I think you could really tell, we could place a trigger right here. Activation, we could say that we're the blue 4, we activate it. What happens? We're present at that trigger, detected by independent. So there's different things here. You can set the radius for it as well. Make it an ellipse, so you can shrink it down a little bit more if you want. Let's see, type. What does it do? Guarded by, switch, ends. It ends the scenario. So in theory, let's just do this for a test. Let's hit trigger. And let's try to move these guys back. Let's see. So I'm going to move them here, alright? I think... Let me take a look at it again. Trigger. Blue 4, present, end. Okay. So if we preview this, and we were to run into the vicinity of where the trigger's at, should be somewhere around here. See? We ran into where the trigger was, and it ended. So that basically the mission objective there was just get to this destination, and you're complete. So that's something you can do with that, and it's kind of neat. Like I said, you could have this as a trigger. Maybe have an Op4 here. You pass the trigger, it sets these guys in motion. It tells them to move into an ambush position. There's a lot to do with it. Again, I'm not a huge expert with it, but that's that. So let's kind of just clear that out. Place just, a unit. Oops, you gotta go back. Remember to always switch on these, whatever you want to do. Place another unit. He's gonna be control player, team leader, whatever. Just hit OK. So one of the other cool things about this is messing with the ambience. So you can click on see this weather, little cloud here, Intel. Double click on that. Let's say you want to set the date, time, what time of day is it? Let's put it at 20, and then just do something like that. Let's say it's going to be raining. We want the highest chance for rain. I'm pretty sure you just bring these all the way down. Let's maybe create some fog. Let's see. So let's do forecasted fog. I guess you can increase the chance and whatnot of that as well. So let's just do OK. Preview that, see what that does. Well, as you can see now, it's nighttime. And it's about to rain. So that's kind of neat that you can do that stuff and play around with the time. So let's hit on some NVGs. And now you have a nighttime scenario. It's pretty much like DayZ. Not able to see anything except we're more well equipped here. So let's bring it back. Let's go to 18. Take a look at it. Preview again. So you can see it's changed the time of day. The cloud, we have cloudy weather now. It looks like it's going to rain. And remember, it's all kind of based on a chance, so it may or may not rain. And it may start to rain. It's just going to be a higher probability. See, as you can see now, it's raining. It's pretty much, the way we made it is pretty much guaranteed to rain. So it's kind of neat if you really want that type of ambience, like a rainy day mission. And for some reason I love the rain. I don't know why, but I guess I get too much sunlight where I'm at. So I like making it rain. Half the time you see me make videos with the mission editor, for some reason it's raining, and that's pretty much why. I don't know, I just think it's kind of cool and creepy for some reason. But so yeah, there's that. Just playing around with the weather. And so same thing too, like let's say we want to do a unit. How about a vehicle? How do we add vehicles? Let's do armored woodland. The British have the warrior available to them. That's going to place this bad boy down. Preview. Whoa! See? That's where you want to play around with the placement, because sometimes it'll put them in a precarious position. So, but obviously he's AI controlled. What he's going to do on his own, I have no idea. I think it's mostly acting a little strange because, well, he's under my control, so he's going to follow me. So if I run this way, there you go. So he's playing around with me. It's kind of like a big pet. So there's that. You know what's funny? I'll admit, there's one thing I haven't figured out I don't know how to delete individual units. I can't use backspace, and I can't use the delete key. I can click. You can clear, but if you clear, it clears everything. I want to know how to just clear one unit, and for some reason I can't figure that out. So if somebody in the comments knows how to clear one unit, I would appreciate that, because I'm not sure what the deal is with that. So rifleman. So again, place a unit. But you know, let's say we want a different unit. Let's say we want U.S. Marine Corps men, whatever, same thing, rifleman. Let's make him a designated marksman. Let's add him. Actually, I've never tried that. Can I be pals with an American? Yeah, it looks like I can. So I've got a American U.S. Marine on my team now. So we're allies, guys. Stick together. We're allies. Remember that. So abort. Yes. So same thing. You can kind of mess around with things like that. Doesn't always make much sense. Synchronize. Honestly, I don't know too much about these things. Markers. I think these are map markers. If you wanted specific things already on the map. Marker name cannot be empty. So let's do that. It's an American flag. What does that do? Yay, American flag, which is really red for some reason. But you could place that down and have different markers on the map as mission objectives and things like that. The rest of the stuff, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about. There's so much that you can get into. Modules, I mean, I don't even know. Effect, film grain. Oh yeah, there's different effects that you can put down. Armory, MP Manager. There's so much to it. There's so much. But that's the basics, you know. And so just to show that off one last time, let's clear all this. Let's go into the city here. Let's just place a group. Let's do a infantry MTP. We're going to do a section. Why not? Let's do a whole infantry section. Make him under my control. I'm the player. I kind of want these guys. Well, they're not going to fit too well within the street. So let's just tell this. I'm going to click on the one. Oh, don't want to do that. Careful there, because you can unlink your units too. So for example, if I click off, I've now unlinked myself from the section. So you want to make sure that you're properly linked to all these units. It's kind of confusing as to how it works. Like right now, see, I'm unlinked. I have no players, but they're there. So I forget how that works, honestly, how everything gets linked up to each individual unit there. So I'm going to have to play around with that, because it seems to cause some problems there. So I don't know. I haven't figured that one out. That one's kind of funky. So I'm going to clear that and start over again. Like I said with the disclaimer, I really don't know what I'm doing half the time, but I just wanted to show you how to make a brief, just like instantaneous, like let's have a battle. So BAF, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be player. Okay. I just want to make sure that we're kind of on the street, whatever. And then let's say I've got some op4 just on the other side, so we're going to do another group. Just maybe over here, whatever. Okay, they're going to be facing the direction because we want to we want to kill them. So preview. So we've got shots fired. Ooh, careful, they're right in front of me. Man down. Shoot him in the hand. Or not. Hey, buddy. I shot him in the neck. So anyway, yeah, that's just a sloppy example, but my whole point is it's that simple to set up an infantry engagement and just have fun with it. You can restart, do it all over again, play smart, you know, this time. There we go, lots of contacts. I don't know if it's going through that fencing. But you can see you can make a really hectic firefight if you want pretty quickly. And it's really good for practice. And I'm dead again. So you can see it's not a simple scenario there, and it's probably not the best course of action for our section there, but that's just it. That's pretty much an example, and that's a simple way how to get an instantaneous firefight. So hopefully you can play around with that. Remember, you can play around with any of the continents as well and just explore if you want, and pretty much have a fun time with it. So hope you've enjoyed this really brief and simple layman's guide to the mission editor. Again, if you really want a really good guide, probably just search for YouTube like ArmA 2 editor, or Google search it. I know there's some text ones on websites and things like that. This is just basics, and good luck to you. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next one.